Hi everyone, welcome to today's short class. So today's class is all about breath work and calming down the mind, nervous system down regulation. And this could be done actually not just through breath work but also the position in which we are and the feedback we get from the body as we feel our body move during breathing, and also through other techniques like humming, which further activates the parasympathetic nervous system and down regulates the nervous system. So to begin with, I invite you to come into any comfortable seated pose of your choice. It would help to sit on top of a cushion. So I'm just folding this cushion up, but you can also use two cushions to sit on. It also helps to sit on a block, especially if you have particularly tight hips, allowing the blocks to help us. Now, once we sit up a little taller, you might notice that the pressure on the back reduces, and also the knees, let them fall out to the side. If you have very tight hips and the knees, they're straining a little bit because you've gone higher, take a few more cushions, place them under your knees so that you have full support. The idea is to relax this muscle right here around the hip crease. Our psoas goes and connects all the way. It's quite deep and not really very superficial when you touch it, but the deeper set of muscles, they start to relax a little bit as we come into this supported seated pose. Now from here, just lightly bring the index finger and the thumb to touch. Let it rest on your thigh, and it doesn't really have to be on the knees. It can even be closer. In fact, the more we strain to come forward, the more we tend to round. So pull it back. Lift the shoulders up, pull the shoulders back, and then let them drop down. And draw the back of your head in line with the base of the spine. Now I invite you to softly close the eyes. And let's begin to focus on the inhalations and the exhalations. Notice if you can hear the sound of your own breath. And gradually begin to slow down the breath, allowing deeper, more silent inhalations and longer, more silent exhalations. And as you continue to take these slow, silent, steady breaths, I invite you to set your intention for your practice today. A reminder, what brings you to this practice? What is it from this practice you would like to carry forward to your day-to-day life? And once you have your intention, let's slowly start to again tune into that breath, into that slow, steady flow of breath. And from here we're going to come into our first short down regulation, nervous system down regulation techniques. You can continue to have your eyes closed and follow along. This really helps when your eyes are closed. However, if you'd like to take a visual cue, have a look at me, then you can very gently blink open the eyes. Or you could even choose to look at the tip of your nose or a point on the floor, keeping your gaze steady to help you stay focused. So we're going to start with simple sounds, or in a lot of cases, these are also known as chants, to help us with just regulating the nervous system, with creating a little bit more peace and calm within our mind. So we're going to start with the sound of ah, and we're not just going to focus on the sound of ah, but also how we make that sound of ah, how the mouth is. So for this, I really invite you to open the mouth quite a bit, almost as if there's like a fruit at the back of your throat. So you're really opening out the mouth. Think of it like how vocal coaches would train their students. They would really ask them to open the mouth to be able to enunciate. This will also play a role in relaxing the muscles around your jaw. That will further increase your relaxation. So let's try this for one round. Let's take a nice and deep breath in. Just soak it all in, see what happens right after this. And then from here we move to the other sound, which is the sound of ooh, where again it's the way the lips are. So you want to make a really small ooh as you would make the shape of the lips when you say the word you or say the letter U. Similarly, we want to make the lips into a little circle, almost protruding outwards as we make the sound of ooh. And again, try to make this as clear as possible. Let it come from deep within the belly, so the sound is emanating from deep inside. Let's take a deep breath in for this. Okay. And then finally we move to the sound of a or a humming sound, where we're not really opening out the lips. We're focusing on really creating a lot of hum within the mouth, almost to the extent that we can feel almost vibration around the teeth, around the back of the throat. So again, in order for that to happen, let the sound come from deep within. Let's take a nice long breath in and start. Let it soak in. And now we're going to combine these three sounds with a similar mouth shape, so ahs and oohs and mahs. And we're going to go through this for about 3 rounds. You can even go a few more rounds. This can get very relaxing, especially if you're doing this on your own and you're taking this in a continuous loop. But because I want to keep this short, we're just going to stick to these 3 rounds. So let's take a nice long breath in and we'll begin and we'll continue, so I wouldn't be talking in between. Let's inhale. soaked that in. We're going to take one more round of this, but this time, let's see how it feels to take just one big breath in and repeat the sound ah, 3 times, but within that one breath. This of course means that each ah, each oo and each ma will be slightly shorter. So let's try that loop. This is just one breath. Let's inhale. Whenever you've completed that, you can just rub the palms. Let the palms get a little bit warmer. And then take the warmth of the palms at the nape of your neck, right underneath the skull and at the nape of the neck actually. Pushing the head back into the palm slightly. And then we rub the palms one more time. And this time lightly cup it around the eyes. And then start to blink open the eyes within your palm, so you can see the light slightly seeping in through the gaps around your fingers. And then slowly start to draw the palms away as you keep the eyes open. And welcome back into a brighter room, welcoming your sense of sight, your sense of vision. So you might have noticed that the sound of ah, ma when said in a loop almost sounds like mom or ma. And that makes a lot of sense. Actually, that sound is very primordial, very instinctive and very relaxing. Similarly, when we keep our palm at the nape of the neck or the base of the skull, it's the areas of the neck that an infant is given support to, because an infant can't support their own neck when they are first brought into the world. So if you notice, there's a lot of implication or a lot of similarity as to what happens to a tiny infant or a tiny baby and what we're trying to mimic now. And these are all nervous system down regulation tools, also used in pranayama and yoga for over centuries. So it makes a lot of sense now why this might be calming for us. And now we're going to move into our next breathing technique, very simple and short one. I've multiple times repeated that when we elongate the exhalation, it calms the nervous system, or rather activates the calming response of the nervous system, the parasympathetic response. So we're going to do precisely that, but with a little bit of feedback from our body. How do we do that? So I'm going to use the cushion that I'm sitting on because I don't need it, but please by all means continue to sit on your cushion and you can just grab another one. I'm just using this one for easy access. So take your cushion in front of you. Now wrap one arm at the lower part so you can actually feel the movement of the belly against the cushion. The other arm on the upper part so you can feel the movement of the chest against the cushion. It's also kind of like hugging a person, so it feels really nice. And then we just close the eyes and start to just feel the movement of your body against the cushion, especially this region around your abdomen and your lower rib cage. Let this give you a little bit of feedback, the movement against the cushion, a little feedback about your breath, how the breath feels, how deep is it depending on the movement. And then let's begin to introduce a count for each breath. So as you inhale for 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath for 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold for 3, 2, 1. One more. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Now continue at your own pace for another 3 breaths. However, if you do have the capacity to increase the count, then I would highly recommend it, because the idea is to slow the breath down, to elongate the breath as much as possible. If you're doing it at your own pace, continue. Otherwise, join me in a slightly longer count for 3 breaths. Let's inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold for 3, 2, and 1. And then whenever you're ready, slowly return to your natural breath. Notice that movement against the cushion. And then when you're ready, we can slowly blink, open the eyes to come out of this. Great. And that is another technique, our second technique to down-regulate the nervous system through breath work. And the third one that we're going to be using is through position and breath. So how we position our body also determines how our nervous system responds, how the different functions of our body, the heart rate, the breath rate responds. So for this, and I've done this in the past, we want to slightly elevate the level of the heart above the head so that it activates the baroreceptor reflex. It tells our body when the body is at an incline that there's too much blood rushing to your head, so let me down regulate. Another really important thing is that all of these breathing techniques, even chant that you did, if you'd like to do it lying down, you can eventually, or on really difficult days, because when we lie down, all the muscles relax. The body no longer has to support itself from in an upright position or pull itself away from gravity. So automatically that relaxes the muscle, and automatically there's a slight parasympathetic response when we lie down. And we're going to work with that. So if you have access to a yoga block, then keep your yoga block. Otherwise, just grab 2 cushions and keep it next to you. So we're going to lie down, and immediately, we feel a little bit better when we lie down. It feels like, oh, I'm so relaxed now. And then keep your feet hip distance wide, bend the knees. Now slightly push into your feet as you lift the hips slightly up, and then take your cushion or your 2 cushions or your block and place it underneath your sacrum. Now where is my sacrum? Palpitate, feel the part where the crack of your bum begins, and then walk about 1, 2, 3 to 4 fingers up, and you should be able to feel this small of the back, as they call it, this flat surface. Place your block or your cushion there, or rather place that part of your body on the block or cushion. So now that we're fully supported, again, you can either choose to have your hands around the rib cage so you get a little feedback of your breath, or if that doesn't work for you, you can also just keep your hands on the side and join the index finger and the thumb, whatever is comfortable. I like a little feedback, so I'm going to continue to keep my palms here. And now, let's close down the eyes. Let's start to focus on our natural breath. If you have any condition of the back or your back tends to hurt, you can also let the knees just fall in towards each other, letting them touch, knocking the knees in. And then start to slow the breath down once again. Now we're going to further notice how the baroreceptor reflex helps to slow the breath rate, helps to slow the heart rate. So there are actual contraction happening within the blood vessels, constriction rather happening within the blood vessels, that is helping you to slow down the heart rate and the breath rate. And then now start to take a nice and easy breath in, as deep as you can. Once you've inhaled, swallow, and then exhale as deep as you can completely. Once there's no more breath left to exhale, hold the breath there, or rather just don't take the next inhalation. Let's not inhale till you really feel your body asking for that next breath. So it almost feels like you have to wait for that long. So we're creating a very slight, inducing a very slight stress response, but actually in this process, because we're already getting a calming response through the baroreceptor reflex, it helps us to train the diaphragm, it helps us to train the muscles that allow us to breathe. When you absolutely can't go on any further, allow the inhalation to flow in. Sometimes it might even feel like a gasp. It might feel like deeper than the last inhalation. Inhale fully, then we're going to swallow rather, and then exhale fully. And then once again, hold the breath, hold, as long as you can. When you absolutely can't hold any further, inhale again. Swallow. Exhale. And then don't breathe in till the body asks for it. So continue to do this for 2 more breaths at your own pace. We will all have different durations. If you completed your 2 rounds, just return to your natural breath. In case you forget to swallow right after inhalation, not a problem. You can swallow while you're exhaling as well. You might notice that it's a little challenging to swallow and exhale at the same time. So that's a little tricky bit. So notice that. Whenever you've completed your 2 rounds, just return to your natural breath. Observe what's happening. Allow the movement of your rib cage against the mat or whichever surface you're lying on. Allow that to give you a little feedback so you know how it feels. How is my breath feeling in this moment? And then after a few rounds of this breath observation, all we do is, with the eyes still closed, simply push into your feet so your hips lift off the cushions of the block for a bit. Remove the cushions of the block. Try to do this all with your eyes closed. And then slowly place your spine down, vertebra by vertebra, till the tailbone, the sacrum touches the mat. See how that feels now that the level of the heart and the head is the same. And then we simply roll off to one side, and with the eyes still closed, push yourself into a comfortable seated pose of your choice. Continue to sit upright, and we're going to close this short practice with 3 clear chants of Om. If you can stick to the previous pattern, maybe you could really enunciate using not just the sound from deep within the belly, but also really opening out the mouth during the ahs and making a U shape during the Ums. So let's take a deep breath in. We'll do 3 chants of Om. Once you're ready, let's begin to rub the palms together and massage the warmth into the eyes, maybe around the nape of the neck, the back of the head. And then let's bring the palms together in Namaskar Mudra to the forehead, a reminder to have clear, loving, healing thoughts. Palms to the center of the chest, a reminder to have clear, loving, healing intentions. And palms to the mouth, to remind us to have clear, loving, healing communication. Let's bow our head down, take a moment to thank your body, mind and spirit for taking this time for your personal practice, your personal growth. Loka samasta sakhino bhavantu. And with that, we can close our short practice. Thank you so much for joining in. I really hope you can take these tools and apply it to your day-to-day life. Until next time, bye.